This is so much fun, everyone. This is Carey and Perry talking documentaries. This is so much fun because just a minute ago, Carey didn't even had a link to the studio, and we were like, "Are we doing this, Carey?" Yeah, of course we're doing this. Oh, that's cool, right?
Okay.
Hi,
Jump
Carey.
in. Hi, Barry. We just jump in. That's the way we do it.
We don't know what we're doing, and that's the fun of all of this, right? Why are
Exactly.
we sharing this? It's a big question mark. We're not we're not bringing anything to the table. There's no wisdom. There 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 is no instructions of this is how this works, or when you want to watch documentaries then you should do this or that. We're just two old farts watching documentaries.
And talking about them, which is fun.
And that's it, right?
And that is it.
And that's it. And last week we had a documentary that I really didn't like at all, boring. And now I went to the cinema to watch the movie One Love, story about Bob Marley. We know the story of Bob Marley, but uh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Surreal.
I love it. It's Bob, but I thought the whole movie was beautiful, sad, um, interesting, good to see again. I just wish everybody would watch this movie again, especially today in today's world. And I just loved it. I think it's just a beautiful movie. One Love about Bob Marley, right?
Yeah, I loved it too. Fantastic. And I love that his son Ziggy introduced the movie and that that they were involved, the family, in all of it, all the way through. Because, there's a lot of sensitive topics in there, especially with the family,
Hmm.
right? So to portray it in a way to honor his mother and his father, who the it's about both of them, actually.
Both, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
But
yeah.
of course, Bob gets
But
he's Bob.
she gets all the credits as well because you really get a feeling of it's thanks to her as well that there was this wisdom and everything. And he needed her in London. He needs her every time. And how awesome.
Yeah, in the movie they do that. What I'm saying is the family's there to get
Yeah.
that point across, because if you just went out into the public, maybe some people know he's married to Rita and that she was a backup singer, but they don't know that side of the story. So that made it great, because it wasn't just a simple filmmaker going out making a story only about Bob with highlights of Rita, but you really got her strength in that relationship in the movie.
Yeah, because some of the words that got out was, "Oh, the Marley family needs a little bit of money," but how sad is that to say it like that, right? If that's the first thing that pops up in your mind when you create it's a beautiful movie. You're the specialist here. I'm just the consumer. I'm just sitting in a chair in the cinema and thinking, yeah, I can feel it. But you as a filmmaker, Carrie,
Yeah,
what is
I was totally moved by it, and there's a couple of aspects in it that I thought were brilliant by the filmmaker. I got a real sense, and I love Bob Marley, and I've seen documentaries about him, and I've read a little bit about. I'm not a huge fan, like I don't know all this stuff, but enough about him because his music is so transcendent, right? But the filmmaker took you right into how that music was made and how it came to him and then grew into what it was with the requisite players around him. And in a lot of ways, it just showed the world what creativity is and how it works. And you really got this visceral feeling when the songs were coming to life of, oh, I know that song, but I don't know this origin, and I see it build in front of me, and I see the
I
other
love that.
musicians
I love that.
in
Yeah.
involved in it, and the actors are portraying this too, which I thought was absolutely brilliant, because they weren't separate of just if we were peeping in on the process. We don't know if it's truly went that way. But even though the actors were like, they were like, you were there in Bob's house watching him create a song, or in London watching him create a song. It was brilliant. That part was brilliant to me.
And that was painted in that movie very well, where where for me the artist is the summum of the holy grail of nonlinear thinking is the artist. And then when you see a movie like that and you're with the artist and you can see the creation, and they got into the studio and he's like, no, it's all cool, but this is not what we want. And then the guy with the guitar was there with his, his hair, and you could feel the vibe and the, how I call it, the nonlinear space between thoughts. Like, I don't know what I'm thinking, but there is something. And that was so cool to me to see that in that movie, and so sad as well. Fuck, why did he die? And I keep thinking, what if he was still here? And shit. And I was a bit sad at the end of the movie. um,
Yeah, yeah,
what
me
is
too.
Michael talking about here? I don't understand his question. Was there a lot of music because people did not like it in Bernstein because they wanted more music? What is he asking? I don't
He's
understand.
talking about the movie Maestro, which is Bradley Cooper did Leonard Bernstein.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, it's different. There was a lot of music. Yeah, it was very heavily music. The Marley thing is heavily music driven, and you not only get to see them portray how the songs came about, but also you hear those songs even in little snippets, and you don't
yeah.
always hear the whole thing, which I thought
No,
was also great about the filmmaking, because
that was good, huh? Yeah,
yeah, it's not about that. It's about the essence of what Bob brings to make that happen, and then the co-creation with his band and friends and all that stuff. That, I mean, to capture that is it, authentically with actors as a filmmaker, I'd say that is a it's a they set out for a monumental task and they achieved it, because
oh
that's not
yeah.
easy, right? There's a lot of moving parts to a movie, and
and
then
and and Carrie, sorry for interrupting you,
okay,
but considering time, we have so much to say,
yeah,
and we have only 10 to 15 minutes. But I loved it when they went back in time and they went to the recording studio in Jamaica and they were playing music. And it was very, very normal. And then they were like, okay, keep practicing and we'll see you next year. And then they played it and they were like, no, 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 wait, we can actually really do something. And they played a song. I don't remember what the song was about. And then you saw the technician in the booth, going all nuts. Yeah, even and the groove, the vibe, that was so well done.
so well done.
That part was so cool.
So well done, and I
Yeah.
love that, that original, the Wailing Wailers, and they're just young kids, and then they're like, we're gonna show these guys what we got, and then they realize that's not what we got. We actually have this, and then to see the recording engineer, who is the legendary
Exactly. Yeah.
Scratch Perry, right? Lee Scratch Perry. He's like all of Jamaican music, and he's noted for being crazy like that, and then just seeing him jumping up crazy was
That
just
was
like, they
so
handled
cool.
that so perfectly. The timing of it and everything was just
Yeah.
so well done. Yeah, I love that. I love that part. I mean, I really love every bit of this movie, and I love the story, and I think that the piece of Bob Marley's life and musical life that they chose to tell was the perfect piece from
Yeah.
start to finish, to
Yeah.
Exodus, the album, and not because there's a lot more to it, and it goes all the way back to the little brief thing they showed about them being kids and getting their first record deal. And I mean, it's even though he didn't live very long, that he still had a big volume of work
And a lot of kids.
and a lot of kids. Yeah, a lot of kids.
He had a lot. What was it? 11 kids with 7 wives or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, a bunch of, and most of them are musicians, and by God, good ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
11 kids. Are
11.
we doing musical sessions? If I can answer that question immediately, I fucking hate musicals. So I'm not doing any musical sessions. in this Carey show. But if someone wants to talk musicals, yes, please create something cool. But as long as I don't have to do it, I don't like musicals. To be very honest, this is
Yeah,
not a musical. I saw it
no,
on the internet like this is a musical movie just
no.
because there's music. No,
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 that and that again, like we said before, the filmmaker handled that perfectly because they weren't a huge. His songs didn't last longer than they needed to in the movie. There were
yeah,
no. I don't believe there were any full songs that
no,
I can remember.
no.
Right, so it's just a piece of showing this person and Rita their humanity, how they came about stuff, how you connect creatively, how you where you see yourself in consciousness and all that, and it's all discussed in there and shown, and you watch a person's human existence happen and their change
Very
and their
human.
stuff.
Bob is a human. Yeah,
Very, yeah, he's a very human guy, and also the movie showed that even as a very human conscious person, he was evolving in that spread of time. Michael.
Michael also doesn't like musicals. Way to go, Michael. You know what I love the most? The oldest recording of Marley because they were more human centric. Michael loves that word. Human centric and less perfect, but of all with rhythm and sound. Yeah, I love all his music. I think it's all. What if
Yeah,
he would still be here? That's the thing. The single thought that I had over and over after watching that movie, documentary, whatever.
mm.
Um,
Yeah,
what
me
if he
too.
still
And it's
right?
sad because and I was glad they kind of highlighted the story because it's even more sad because he turned to like some Jamaican witch doctors to try to heal him. Like he avoided really hard the medicine. And then later, at the very end, he went to some doctor who was having these who was very holistic and doing, but it was too late. So he did try to stay in the game late
Mhm. Yeah.
in reality. I mean, they didn't show all that in the movie, but
No.
and they highlighted it. But I mean, it makes it even more sad. You know, it's really sad.
And they did this also very in an elegant, beautiful way in the movie, right? That he was at the
Mm.
doctor's, like, "Hey, we can remove your toe, and then maybe it doesn't spread." And he was like, "No, I need to continue," and that was the end of it. So
Yeah,
it's I thought they did that very well in the movie. That there's so many little elements that are so important, beautifully in a human way. Just touch it and go and leave it.
yeah,
That was awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, excellent filmmaking.
yeah.
Excellent filmmaking. Yeah, unbelievable.
Yay! Well, that's it for now. Thanks everybody for watching. We should play some Bob Marley music now. What is your favorite song, Carrie? Do you have a favorite Bob Marley one? It's a boring question, but I need to ask.
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, I love
What?
so many of them.
Yeah,
I guess
my
Rebel Dread, maybe Rebel Dread, or 3 o'clock.
three
I don't
o'clock.
know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't know the titles. Maybe I'm not even getting the titles, and I'm just pulling lyrics out. But I don't know.
Thank you for creating such a beautiful movie.
Yeah,
Right? I
yeah,
love that.
yeah,
It's and I was talking to Howard today about Wu Wei, and it's Chinese for effortless effort. It's about creating a beautiful game. It's not about winning the game. It's just about playing the game as beautiful as possible. That's how to put it. That's Wu Wei. And I love that when there is Wu Wei. And Howard said to me, you need to create stickers or T-shirts with Wu Wei way, and this movie for me also has a Wu way to it, like maybe because I knew that the family was involved, but I got that feeling of um, creating something beautiful, not to be successful, not to get the highest amount of selling tickets. It was just about creating a beautiful story, telling the story beautifully.
yeah.
That's what happened.
And
Yeah.
that fitting. The Wu way is exactly what Bob lived, right? He wasn't
Yeah.
about the money. I mean, he
No.
made money and stuff, but
No.
he gave a lot of it away, and he just wasn't about that. I mean, and they showed that clearly in the movie.
Yeah. What are we playing, Bob? We will find out.
That I love the most.
Me too. I love that. What are we doing? We will see.
But I don't know. Here we
My
go.
kind of language. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carey.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, joining us. Thank you for being here. See you all soon. Thanks, Carey.
Yep. Thanks, Barry.